Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. I hope you and your family members are doing good because that is the most important thing, and for rest we are here to talk. So we were following our pattern wise rising brain DSA sheet, and in this we were doing array topic. Inside we were doing the sliding window pattern, and today we will solve the last question, which is sliding window maximum. So let's read the problem statement. Problem says you are given an array of integers and there is a sliding window of size k. Okay, so we will be given an array of integers and a sliding window, fixed sliding window k. Okay, and which is moving from left to right, of course. Then you can only see the k numbers in the each window. Okay, so basically it is talking about the fixed sliding window, and hence we already know what we have to apply. Now we have to return the maximum sliding window. Now what is this maximum of the sliding window? So if you see in the example number 1, we will take 1, 3 and -1 as the first k size sliding window, and in this we are returning 3. Okay, so basically we have to return what is that maximum value in the entire k size window. Okay, that is 3. Second time 3, -1 and -3. So what is the maximum number or maximum element in that second window? That is also 3. Okay, so we have to return that. Now let's see the constraint. Constraint says it can go till 10 power 5, and if you'll see the k, it is also nums.length, means 10 power 5. Okay, so here the k is 3, means the fixed sliding window is 3. So we will take this one, and we know what is the maximum in this, that is nothing but 3. Okay, so in our resultant array we will put 3. Now for the second window, this we know what is the maximum out of all this, that is this 3. So hence we can put this 3 also. Now in the third window, if you will see, 5 value is maximum, so we will put 5. Next time in the next window, this again 5 is only the maximum, and next time 6 is maximum, and next time 7 is maximum. So hence again 5, then 6 and then 7. So this will be our resultant array. If you will see the length, the input length is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and the resultant length is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, only 6. So can I say that the resultant length will be nothing but nums.length. Nums.length means 8 minus k minus 3 and plus 1. Why I decided like this? So basically if you see the first window, for first 3 element I have one answer, for next I have one answer, and so on. So basically from here I have the answer, and the element or the size of element for which I don't have the answer will be always k minus 1 only, starting k minus 1. So hence the total length will be n minus k plus 1. So basically from total length we are not utilizing this k minus 1. Okay, but when we are subtracting, we will write like this, k minus 1, correct? And when we will open this, so it will become plus and this will become minus. So hence total length minus k plus 1 will be the resultant length. Now let's see how can we do this with a brute force approach. For every I index, I want to run my j for next k size, correct? Then I will calculate what is the maximum. Okay, now for another I, again k size from here. Now from another I, again k size from here. So do you think I can put my I index here? No, I cannot. So till where I can put? I think till here I can put. So that will be, because if you will put here now, you can get k size window from here, but if you will put your I index here, it will not be possible. So hence the I index cannot move beyond this. So what is this index? This is nothing but nums.length minus k plus 1 only. So we have to return the resultant array. So can I create a resultant array here? That will be of integer type, and this will be result, and I want to initialize with every value with 0, let's suppose. So new int, and I will give the size, and size will be nums.length, suppose n minus k plus 1, we just saw, and this n we will calculate here, nums.length. Okay, now I want to run a for loop for I index, int I is equal to 0, and I want this to run till n minus k. Okay, so it will run till n minus k plus 1 less than, so I can say less than equal to n minus k. Okay, and I plus plus, and for every I, what I want, for every I want to run the j size window, and in that I want to calculate what is maximum. So can I initialize the max variable here, and I will say ki nums of I is maximum, let's suppose, and now I want to run my j loop from where? I till where? J less than n, of course, and then j plus plus, and inside this I will calculate ki what is maximum. How can we can do? So we can simply say max is equal to math dot max. This current maximum is maximum, or the nums of j index value is maximum. Whatever is maximum after coming out of the first loop, I can say कि in my resultant of that index, what index, I or j? Of course I, because I am actually calculating. If I am saying this, so basically I want to put here at this index, means in the resultant array at 0 index I want to put the maximum value which I have found in the k size window, correct? So I will put resultant of I, that will be max, which I have calculated, the max variable which is actually holding the maximum value in the first k size window. Okay, so now in our resultant array I can put the maximum value 3. Okay, now next time what happens? Now next time the I will point to first index, and from here I want to calculate the maximum for the next window. Again I will get 3. So again in the resultant of I will put that max, so again it will hold 3. Correct? Next time I will put my I index at second index, and again the j will run for 3 size from here, and it will take 5 as a maximum. So we will print 5 as a maximum. Correct? Now next time this will be our window, and I will point to this index. Again we will get the 5 as a maximum, so again we will put 5 as a maximum. Now next time I will point to this, and in this window we can see 6 is a maximum, so hence we will add 6 as a maximum. Now next time again we will put I at here, correct? I can put, yes, and now we can find ki 7 as a maximum number, so we will add 7 as a maximum answer. Beyond this I cannot move my I index, so hence this for loop will end, and after coming outside of this both for loop I can simply return our result. And if you will see the result length, that will be 1 2 3 4 5 6, and that is nothing but n minus k plus 1. So let's see the time complexity. Of course we are running the I loop from 0 to n minus k. Okay, so we can say time complexity will be n minus k for the first loop, and second is in nested order, and also for every I we are running the j till n size, correct? And that is also nothing but, if you can see, we are running from I index to n, correct? Sorry, my bad, we will put k here, okay, because I want to run this for k size, na? Okay, so for every I am running my j from I to k. Can we run till only k? Think, because if I is here, till k is okay, but what if I is here? K means only 2 size window it will take, so we cannot run till k, we have to run I plus k. Okay, I plus k, so that when I is 0, k will be k only, but when I will be 1, k will become plus 1. When I will be 2, k will become plus 2, and basically from that I we are taking the k size window, so that is why we will put I plus k. Okay, so if you will see the time complexity of this j, so j is actually running for k size window, here in this case 3, so we will multiply this k, so total time complexity will be n into k minus k square, correct? And we just saw the constraint for k, it can go till 10 power 5 also, correct? So let's suppose n is 10 power 5 and k is 10 power 4, correct? And if you will multiply it, it will become 10 power 9, and we are subtracting 10 power 8, correct? The subtraction won't matter much, but 10 power 9 is the highest time complexity, and we cannot go beyond 10 power 8 because it might give you TLE, and you know that. So hence we need to optimize here in this case, correct? Yes, because this is a brute force code. Okay, so how can we optimize? You all know that whenever we talk about optimization, the 4 different patterns comes to our mind. Remember? Yes, and those 4 patterns we have already discussed in our previous lecture, correct? 2-pointer, sliding window, prefix sum and cadence. And here you just saw it is talking about k size fixed sliding window, so hence we have to apply the sliding window concept only. But do you think normal sliding window will help us? Let's see. So what is the sliding window concept? Key start from this index and run for k size, correct? And in this way we have got our first sliding window. Yes, and in this way, and from here we will calculate the maximum value, correct? Now sliding window says key when we are moving for the next window, add this and remove this one, correct? Yes, but here in this case again you don't mean to calculate the maximum value now, because if you will again run the for loop for k size to calculate the maximum, then how it is sliding window? No, it is not. So basically you have to maintain the maximum in every window, and while removing you have to check ki the number you are removing, was that maximum? So in this case it is not. So hence for second window also we can blindly say ki yes, 3 is the only maximum after comparing with the minus 3, which is the newly added value, correct? Yes, so second window is this. Now see the third window. Third window, when we are removing this now, when we are removing this. So basically we are removing the maximum value, and now for this window we have to again calculate our answer, or else we have to maintain the second maximum, third maximum. Correct? Here you can say ki yes, 5 is maximum, why to calculate? But suppose this was minus 5. Then to we have to calculate again for this whole window ki what is maximum. Hence you can think ki why not to take a data structure of k size where I will maintain the first maximum, second maximum till k maximum in our window. If we are removing the element and that matches with our first maximum, we will remove from here also, like from window also, and from there also in our data structure. So by default we will get the second maximum as our first maximum from the next window. Yes, we can. Are you able to think of heap data structure? Yes, we can use heap data structure somehow. Why? Because we just saw कि when we were removing this very first element from our window, then we want second maximum from this definition. But for the new window, it will be the first maximum. And here though we can simply calculate because it is 5. But what if it is minus 5? Correct? So if in the data structure, suppose earlier we had 3 as a maximum, after this we have minus 1 as a maximum and minus 3. So when we will remove 3 from the window, we will remove this also from the heap. Okay, and next time I will suppose this is minus 5. So next time what I want to put this minus 5 in the window. Yes, and now I want to get the what? First maximum, and I will get this minus 1. So here we don't need to maintain first maximum, second maximum on our own. Heap will do that for us. But there is a drawback if you will use heap, because in the heap data structure we saw here कि when you remove this, although it is in sorted form, still it will take log of k size time complexity to maintain itself when you will delete. Again when you will put this 5 here, correct? Then again it will take log of k times to manage itself so that the maximum will come up. Yes, so every deletion and insertion cost us log of k time complexity. Okay, space wise so it is taking only, but from time perspective also it is taking log of k. Can we think of some better approach here? One solution is definitely heap. Let's start from the starting. So we will start from this, and what is the maximum value? When our data structure, I don't know what, that is empty, obviously 1 is maximum, so we will put 1 here. Now when we encountered this 3, correct? So when we will move this pointer ahead on 3, so we saw ki the value which I have stored is obviously smaller than 3. Correct? And basically we are running for k size, suppose. So in this k size, so we only want 1 maximum, correct? And whatever, like after this if I have encountered, do you think 1 will anyway help in our future? No, because in future we are moving towards right side. So that one element will never help us. So we can surely delete it, correct? So I am saying when I encounter 3 as a maximum, so I will delete 1 and I will only put 3. Next time when I will move to minus 1, obviously minus 1 is smaller, but I will keep it. Why? Because if you will see till here 3 is maximum, but in this third window, suppose third window from here, obviously 3 is not there, correct? So it won't be maximum. And what if it was minus 5? So minus 1, minus 3, minus 5, minus 1 is maximum. So if we will not store it, how will we get the occurrence for this? Yes. So hence I am saying after a maximum value, even if we are getting minimum value, we will put this. But after a minimum value, if we will get any maximum value, then we can remove it. Okay? Yes. Now we will move this on this. But wait, have we encountered k size window till now? Yes, we have encountered. Correct? Yes. So what is the maximum value? From where I can read? From the last or from the first? Think. Obviously from the first, because that's how we maintained it, correct? So in our resultant array, we will put the 3 answer, correct? And for minus 3, what we will put? Third index, and that will be here. So basically it is there in the window or not, like in that data structure. How can we get? So basically we will read this first value and subtract from this. So if we will subtract, we got what? We got 2. And this is less than window size. So means I can say that one value which is beyond my window is not sitting here. So no need to remove. Okay. Okay. Now after this, what I found? 3 window completed. So can I read the maximum? From where I can read? Of course from the first side. So hence I will put 3 again in our answer. Now next time this pointer will move ahead at 5, and of course I want to put 5. But before I will put 5, I can see minus 3 is smaller than me, minus 1 is also smaller than me. So basically I want to delete both of these from my data structure. So basically I will remove this and I will remove this. Okay, and what I will put? I will put 5. And what is the index for 5? 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Obviously 4. Correct? Yes. And now 5 will be the maximum. But don't you think we have to move the window? Yes. From this to this now. Okay. Now how can we move it? So basically moving window means removing the last element from the data structure which we are using to store our maximum answer. Okay, so how can we keep? So if you will see, the current index is 4 and the value sitting at first is 1. So 4 minus 1 is 3, and basically lengthwise it is 4 and we don't want that. We will allow only till difference 2, because difference 2 means 4 minus 2, difference 2 means length 3. Until that only I will allow. So hence I have to remove this. Correct? Now you tell me, we will remove from the last side or we will remove from the first side? Obviously first side. Yes, we will remove from the first side. Correct? And now for this window after removal, the new window, whatever is the maximum number, we will read from the first, and from the first now I can only see 5. So hence in my answer I will insert 5. Now you tell me what data structure we can use so that for insertion we are inserting from last side, but for popping we are popping from the first side. Yes, you are thinking right. It is nothing but DQ. So hence we will use DQ data structure instead of heap. Why? Because you just saw to insert at last I am taking only O of one time complexity, because after that no rearrangement needed. Now for popping also I have taken only O of one time complexity, and hence it is far better option than heap data structure. After that I will move this to this, and obviously this is at index 5, but if you can see this is 3 and this is lesser than 5. There is any need? Yes. What if we are talking about next window? Then to 5 will not help na. So hence if the upcoming number is smaller, we will put without removing the previous one. But if the upcoming number is greater, suppose 6, then we will remove it and then only we will put 6 in the data structure. That is DQ for us. So what is the index for it? I am saying, like, to show you I am saying we will put 3, but actually we are only inserting the indexes in our data structure. Remember, only index. And for comparison we can simply use these indexes to read the value from the nums array. So I will put 3 also. So again we have to put the answer, maximum answer. So we will read from the starting point and we will put 5 in our resultant answer. Now next time we will move this ahead and we will say 6. So basically I am bringing this 6 in the data structure, and as 3 is smaller we will put, and 5 is also smaller, we will pop. So basically to pop this, we will not use that if condition. Remember, we will use the while condition. Until the present value in the DQ is smaller than the upcoming value, we will remove all of them. So hence I can say ki I will remove both of these number because this is of no use, and 6 with index 6 only. Okay. Now we will put the answer 6 also in the next window, because for this window 6 is the maximum. Now for the next window, what will happen? This value will move at this and we will bring 7 as an answer. So when we will bring 7 as an answer for 7th index, obviously I would like to delete this, and then we will read the first value, and that is nothing but 7 only. So hence this will be our final resultant answer. So now whatever we discussed, we can code it. Okay, so now we can write the code. So first thing which we need is where we will calculate nums dot length. Okay, after that we want a resultant array to store our answer. Correct? So we will make of integer type result, and we will give this size new int. Size will be what? Nums dot length r minus k plus 1, because we just saw in the code key that size will be smaller. Okay, after that we want to run the for loop for right pointer, initializing with 0, and then right should be less than n, and right plus plus. Correct? Now inside it what we want, initially the DQ will be empty, but where is my DQ? First we have to initialize the DQ also, so it will be DQ of type integer. Correct? Let's name it DQ only with new linked list. Okay, link done. Now inside it, initially it will be empty. So can I say ki I will put my value first, and what I am putting? We are inserting the index or we are inserting the value? Of course we are inserting the index. So first we will do DQ dot add last. We want to add what? We want to add the right index. Correct? Okay. Now next time when right index will point to 1. when right index will point to 1, do you think we should put it, or we should check कि the upcoming value is greater than the previous value we have to pop? Remember? Yes. So basically we have to run a while loop कि while our dq is not empty, so is empty. Okay, and what we want to see ki what if the previous value is a smaller than the current one. So to get the value we have to get the index first from the dq, and that will be, so we have to read nums dot dq. Now from where to read? Remember, from first or from last? Obviously when we are bringing some element, obviously you want to compare. So here if you see in the screen, so suppose there is only 1 in the dq, and when we will bring this 3 here, so we will compare na ki this 1 is smaller, then I want to poll it, means pop it. So basically I am considering and I am checking from the last side or from the first side. Obviously from the last side na. So basically here I will write nums dot dq dot what? Peak last. Peak last. If this is smaller than what? If this is smaller than nums of right index. If this is smaller, then what we want to do? We want to pop. So dq dot poll, but from the same location, so that will be last only, poll last. Again we have to add a while loop. Why while? Because there can be multiple such numbers. So while dq is not empty, so while it is not empty, so what to do? Keep on popping until what condition? Until dq dot peak first. Here we will compare with peak first, because we want to check if the first element which we have in the dq, if that is out of index, we have to remove, correct? So if dq dot peak first is less than equal to what? Right index minus k. If that is lesser than that, so what we have to do? We have to simply dq dot poll, but first, not last. Okay? Yes. Now we have to add the answer in our resultant array. So if you remember, when I had only 1, had we inserted in our resultant answer? No. When we had 3, had we inserted in our resultant answer? No. When we had -1, yes. Then only we have put in a resultant answer, and we have put what? dq dot first, peak first. Okay. But when we are hitting this k minus 1, can I say? When we are hitting this k minus 1 index, then only start putting in the resultant answer. Yes. But what index? When your right index is at 2, you are inserting in the 0 index in resultant array. So hence it will be nothing but whatever is right index, which is 2, minus k, which is 3. So total -1, but it should be 0. So hence +1 for this. Okay. So basically after coming here, we have to check ki if our right index should be greater than equal to k minus 1. If that is the case, then only put where in the result, at what index? Index will be right minus k plus 1. That is, in this case, it will be 0. Now what we want to put? We want to put the value of what? dq. dq from where we want to read? From where we want to read? First, or we want to read from last? Definitely we want to read from first. Correct? So we will say peak. Now after coming out of this for loop, we can simply return our resultant answer. Sorry, it will be greater. Sorry, the spelling is wrong. And now we can submit this, and you can see it is somehow faster. Why? Because we are using a dq here to maintain the maximum value, and basically instead of the brute force where we were using n into k time complexity, when k can be equal to n, then it will be n square only. Correct? So what will the time complexity? O of n for this for loop, because we are moving this right pointer from 0 index till last index, and these while loop we are only using for comparison, and in the worst case it can go till O of n, to n around. Okay, so still it is linear approach. And let's talk about the space complexity. Here if you see in the dq, we are only inserting k elements. Beyond this, whenever we are going, we are popping it from the q now. We are popping it from the q. Hence in the worst case or best case, the space complexity will be O of k only. And this is the far better way compared to the previous one which we have did with the brute force, because if you will submit the brute force code, you will for sure you will get TLE. So this was a Java code, and this is a Python code with the same approach and same logic. The only language differs if you are from Python background, and here is a C++ code if you are from C++ background. I hope you understood each and every concept in this question. So with this we can go in our Rising Brain sheet, and inside the sliding window we can mark the last question also to be done. So I hope you guys are doing along with me. If you have submitted or done along with me, do let me know in the comment section saying done or completed. And if you are new to this channel, then the DSA sheet link and all my social media links will be there in the description. You can check it out. And if you have any doubt or any type of concern, do let me know in the comment section. And if you feel this video was really helpful to you or it might be helpful for your friends, then don't hesitate to share with them. And that's it. I hope this video was helpful. Let's meet in another video with some more interesting topic and questions. Till then, keep learning, take care of yourself and your family.